Hey then fam, hello and welcome to what's soon going to be the end of the day of the 25th anniversary of PlayStation. That's not what this video is about. I know there's a million other YouTubers doing it. Well, I remember this from PlayStation and I remember that from and I've done those videos. You've seen those videos, and if you're not, hey, they're here on the channel. As long as YouTube doesn't delete them because they're not making profit, but that's another video. There's other videos that are also being on the round the last couple of days on the back of all the copper craziness. But before I begin, obviously I would encourage you to please rate, favourite, comment, share, subscribe. That would be brilliant, and of course, ding in that bell, baby. Right, so basically this morning I was watching the PlayStation Awards because being today's the 25th anniversary, I thought there's a chance to be some sort of announcement. There wasn't. I watched sort of bits and pieces of PlayStation Access to see if their 25th anniversary stream with them playing a different game from each part of the Sony legacy would reveal any new data. It did not. In fact, if anything, their thumbnail was weird because one of the staff was holding a PlayStation 3 that was a slim, possibly even a super slim, I'm not sure. It's hard to remember these days. But yeah, it wasn't an original 60 gigger. It's like, but all the other systems in the picture were the original versions of the consoles. The PS2, the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 4, they were all the original versions. They were not the slim versions or whatever. And yeah, you thought maybe there would have been something, but nah. No reveals, no words, no anything interesting the whole day. Then, on the way home, on my phone, I get a Google News notification because I'm set for that. Because I hope to sometimes get some stories that maybe have been missed or have not been reported, and I've been scooting around YouTube on and off throughout the day, and as far as I'm aware, nobody seems to have said this. So what I basically got was from Push Square. The title is PS5 pre-order notifications are now being sent out by multiple online retailers. Right. Now, that's interesting because after all, we don't have a price for PlayStation 5. We only have a rough schedule of when it will be released, and Sony have said themselves that they're looking at holiday 2020, which is, to be fair, a little bit amorphous because that can mean anywhere from early November to late December. So technically speaking, we have a year, till PlayStation 5, which is obviously brilliant because we all want it so very badly. Or those of us that want a Scarlet, or even have the money for both. These lucky few. Anyway, so the article reads, hang on, let me get to the start of the article. Something seems to have clicked as reports by Spiel Times. It appears multiple online retailers across multiple territories have opened sign-ups for PlayStation 5 pre-order notifications. In other words, you could tell the likes of Game here in the UK, and that's what it says here, that's not just me saying that, that you want to be notified when Sony's next gen system is officially available for pre-order. So they got you in with the title, but what it actually is, right? And I signed up for this. I signed up for this a long time back, like about a month and a half ago, maybe a bit more. Of like whenever there's any information about the next gen, primarily for me from PlayStation 5, because that's what I'm interested in, that then Game will inform me, because obviously on this here phone I've got the Game app. So it's not for putting your money down yet. It's for getting information about when you get to put your money down once I assume they have the price. So if you see an article like this, that's probably what it's saying. But I shall continue. Official will be able to pre-order. While this is hugely exciting news, it does represent another step towards eventual release of PlayStation 5 in late 2020. It also suggests that retailers are now gearing up for the big reveal. Well, duh. I mean, come on. I think retailers have been gearing up for the reveal of PlayStation 5 since a year ago. Let's be fair. Since the rumour mill really started firing up, and let's face it, the dev kits went out a good while ago, and I think any retailer would be already in talks with Sony. In fact, Sony would have been in talks with them because they've got to sell this thing, So I think it's fair to say that these talks have already been had, and these strategies are already fleshed out. So to report that now just seems, I don't know, it's just not on. Syed revealed his is still shrouded in secrecy, but numerous rumours reckon that PlayStation 5 will step out from the shadows in early 2020. This again we also have somewhat of a knowledge of, because we are told by some semi-reliable sources that there will be some sort of PlayStation event in February. Now, given that PlayStation 4 had a February event in New York for the here comes PlayStation 5, look at these games, this is how it runs, here's the controller, ooh. But we never saw the system, and we never got to know the price at that point. We only got those details at the following E3. And it's widely assumed that Sony will be at this year's E3 to go boom, and chances are Microsoft will as well. Let's see, where were we? Early 2020, followed by a blowout at either E3 2020, like I was just saying, if Sony decides to show up, which I think they will, or some other big event. As always though, we're going to have to wait and see just how things play out. So, all in all, a fairly standard article, but that's been the only real sort of bit of news the entire day. So it's basically a rehashing of everything that we half know and entirely suspect. So to round it out, we're getting the retailers who are going to start giving us information as and when they get it, when they think they can market it best. There will probably be a show at E3, which is a bit of a no-brainer. There will probably be an early part of the year showing, which also makes complete and utter total sense. In fact, if anything, that's generally what games companies like to do these days, because they want to control the message. I mean, we've all seen State of Play, we've all seen Nintendo Direct, we've all seen what that thing is that Microsoft do. It's I forget the name of it, but it's just recent. Anyway, they like to control the message as much as they possibly can. So, with a little bit of excitement, it's nice to know that information is starting to trickle out more and more, and maybe we'll actually start to get some details about what it is that Microsoft is doing, because as I discussed recently, Sony are very much sort of doing their clever little leaks here and their clever little leaks there. I think a lot of the leaks that are coming out are deliberate leaks by Sony to get us interested. I don't think there's any leaks here that are happening that Sony don't want to happen. And they're playing a very clever PR game here. And that PR game is basically keeping themselves in the news cycle so that we are always talking about them and always thinking about them as gamers. By the way, I do apologise that I sound so horrible. I am in the middle of a serious lurgy right now, And if you're looking at me and going, the envelope looks a bit of an odd colour, is his white balance off or something? No, it's that I went to see Guar a couple of nights ago, and if you know Guar's reputation, you know why I look the way I look. And if you don't, Google them. I'm not going to tell you anything about them, I want you to Google them, because more people need to know about Guar, because they are awesome. I've loved them since I was like 16. I have 45, so that tells you how long I've been into the band. They are amazing. Don't think there's much more I can really add to this 25-year anniversary day. Release schedule, hype-esque video. I suppose I could share like one story. I tell you, I'll tell two stories about my life with PlayStation that I don't think I've shared previously. I did tell you before when I did the big Q&A, I've got stories for days. So yeah, I'll tell you a couple. So way back in the PlayStation 3, a friend of mine bought me a copy of the most recent Soul Calibur of the time. And the reason he bought me that is because, one, he knows I'm a gamer and he knows I love gaming. And this is before I had a channel. And the reason he bought me the game was to take my mind off the fact that me and my wife had suffered a miscarriage of our first child. And it hit me really, really hard. And it hit her even harder still. And he was like, there's nothing I can say, there's nothing I can do, but at least I know with this, you can distract yourself for a little bit of time and, you know, beat the snot out of some digital foes and feel like you're doing something because it feels like kind of like you're progressing in something at least. And funnily enough, the next story has a similar arc. Basically, a few years ago now, I was not long into streaming. I'd been streaming for about a year and a half. Twitch channel was starting to get a little bit of traction. I had probably like maybe about a dozen or so subs. And we were trying again for a second child, which, as some of you who know me know, that it's been unsuccessful. We've only still got the one, and we'll probably remain at the one because, well, we're not getting any younger, and money's tight and so on and so forth. So this one night, it's sort of like the last time we had a miscarriage, been about a couple of years back, and I wasn't really thinking about it anymore. And I was playing through week by week the 5 or 6 parts of season 2 of Telltale's The Walking Dead. And not to give too many plot spoilers in case you haven't played that game, but there is a thing that happens with a stillborn pregnancy and stuff. And yeah, it hit me during the stream, and there were people in the stream who were like there for me and stuff, and sort of like, I had to take a minute, but they were there and that was cool. And that's the power of gaming, that's the power of PlayStation, there's community. And it's hard to discount that. It's like we're here, we're gamers, we're for each other. And that for me is one of the reasons why, one, I love PlayStation, and two, console wars are pointless, useless, ineffective, nonsense rubbish. Gaming is gaming. I love gaming, and the console wars can take a long walk off a short precipice. Anyway, I think that's enough for me, guys. My voice is really starting to die because, like I said before, I am not a well puppy right now, but I just wanted to come here, share some experiences, read some news, and just generally give my thoughts on this PlayStation 25th anniversary day. But try and give you something a little bit different to all the other videos that have become a bit cookie cutter on a day like this. Anyway, hashtag support your Scottish YouTubers. And of course, aye, nae bother.